So, are our concepts pretty clear regarding as to what are the two mechanisms by which the kidney ensures that inflow of the blood is regulated? Okay. What was the first concept that we learned named as myo, and what was the other one? Okay. And what were the two signaling molecules we talked about and we heard about when we talked about the tubuloglomerular something? What was it? There were 2 or 3 signaling molecules. Okay. What were the substances that are released by the macula densa? I am reframing the question. I am just rephrasing my question.
ATP.
Yeah, very good. Say that again.
ATP and ADP.
ADP and adenosine. Adenosine. Okay, that is the molecule that reacts with the receptor. Right. And fill in the blank. What kind of receptor would you find in the cells of macula densa? What kind of receptor will you find? Listen to the question. What kind of receptor will you find in the cells of macula densa? Your answer is it goes to the smooth muscles. I am not asking about smooth muscles. I am asking about what? What kind of receptors will you find in macula densa?
Stretch.
Very good. What is it?
Stretch.
Stretch. Excellent. What is it?
Stretch.
Stretch. Okay. And what is the trigger for stretching those, exciting those receptors?
Osmotic pressure.
Osmotic pressure. Because of what?
Flow of sodium ions.
Because of sodium ions. Because of okay. Done. Let's come to okay. Now kidney has. We're just starting with kidney. No, we're just warming ourselves to understanding what kidney really is. And there's one very interesting aspect about kidney. I'll talk about it and we'll go back to the main function of kidney. Kidney has a very interesting function that, okay, it's an endocrine organ. We already know the name of one hormone. And what was the name, please? Name. Renin. What was it? Renin. And what was the source? Juxta, say that loudly. Juxtaglomerular cells. Okay. Now I am introducing you to yet another equally or even more important hormone which is being secreted by the kidneys, and the name of that hormone is, please read for me. Erythropoietin. What is it called as? Erythropoietin. Very funny. Erythropoietin, erythrocytes. You know, erythrocytes. You are talking about RBCs. What has RBCs got to do here is an interesting question you can ask. The question is really interesting. The question is, you see, as long as we are all okay, what do you mean by okay? We are getting enough oxygen. Is there enough oxygen there? As long as my respiratory system and lungs are efficient enough to take whatever oxygen I need, as long as I have enough number of RBCs, as long as my respiratory system is good enough to deliver oxygen to every cell in the body and everybody is good and happy, no problem. Erythropoietin, which is a hormone secreted by the kidney, is very low. It's almost very low. Okay, so far. But then I have a problem. Okay. The problem may not be in me. The problem is because I have gone to some place in again same exam, Leh, Ladakh, or some high altitude, and then suddenly I find that the oxygen is there. So although my systems are fine, there just isn't enough oxygen there. Okay. Or you can have a problem with your lungs. Okay, or your lungs are not working, or very simple and most common, particularly common in our Indian women, 80% of the women are anemic. Okay, means they just don't have enough hemoglobin. In all these cases, then something very interesting happens in the kidney. In the kidney, there are certain cells which release this substance. This is a glycoprotein with a molecular weight of about 34, molecular weight of about how much? How much? 34,000, and this is a hormone that is being secreted by what you call as, I am sure you can decode this figure there. Can you see the Bowman's capsule there, afferent and efferent vessel, and you can also see the capillary there. There are certain fibroblasts there which are a source for this particular hormone, and those cells which are fibroblasts, which are there in the cortex. Oh, very interesting thing what they have done. They have isolated erythropoietin, step number 1, erythropoietin. Okay, and then inject it in rabbit. Okay, so the rabbit immune system, if it is human erythropoietin, it will generate antibodies. Are you with me? You isolate those antibodies and use them in immunocytochemistry protocol. Okay, and then you test them on this kidney, and wherever the antigen is there, okay, your antibodies will react. So, you are in immunocytokine, and then you can you identify the cortex there, and in the cortex can you see the green signal there, fluorescence, can you see the image at the top? What is that? What does that green fluorescence in the cortex of the kidney represent, please? Cells that secrete erythropoietin. Very simple. I'm labeling, I'm immunostaining, labeling what cells? The cells which synthesize and secrete what? Erythropoietin, and I can find that there is abundance of erythropoietin in the cells. Now, what do they do? Okay. So, if you are short of, if kidney is a sensitive organ okay. Those cells which contain erythropoietin that we have seen in one of the previous slides, those cells are sensitive to the availability of oxygen. Okay. Availability of oxygen. Well, your every cell in the body is every cell in your body is sensitive to oxygen. If I cut your oxygen, you will die. Not in that sense. When I say that they are sensitive to oxygen means even if the slight fall in the partial pressure of oxygen in the blood is experienced, the cells will start signaling, giving a signal, and the cells will start responding. And how they respond? They respond by generating, synthesizing new molecules of erythropoietin, and it's a hormone. Therefore, erythropoietin will go in the blood, it will go everywhere, through the blood everywhere. It will also start acting on the hematopoietic tissue, which means your bone marrow. Where are RBC synthesized? In the bone marrow. It will act on the bone marrow. So, here I have tissue oxygenation, okay, and tissue oxygenation for some reason has gone low. Why? I told you 10 reasons for which it can go. Actually, the author has given the reasons. Can you read for me? Low blood volume, anemia, low hemoglobin, pure blood flow, if any of these reasons, then it will be sensed by tissue, and then the cells of the kidney will start generating what molecule, please? Erythropoietin. Erythropoietin will come from the kidney. It will act on the hematopoietic stem cells. What am I talking about? In your bone marrow, okay, there are stem cells. Thousands of them. Their function is to keep on every day generating millions and millions of RBCs. Okay, and those RBCs from the marrow, they get into the circulation, and they better get into circulation because we keep on losing RBCs in equal number because the life is what, numbered 100 days or so. So, RBCs will keep on dying. We need to replace them. So, huge amount of, particularly in your sternum, okay, huge amount of hematopoietic stem cells are there. They give rise to, and I will draw your attention to. Okay. So, we are talking about what? We are talking about stem cells. So, where are we? In the bone marrow? In the bone marrow, this is one of the stem cells is graphically shown there. It is called as colony forming unit. E stands for erythrocyte. Stem cell in the bone marrow. It may be in your femur, in your stomach, it may be in your whatever bone marrow, and then it goes on dividing, and it gives rise to a cell called as proerythroblast, basophil erythroblast, polychromatophil erythroblast, oncochromat, reticulus, and finally what do you have at the end? And one cell may give rise to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and every day they keep on generating the cells. Okay. Now, I will draw your attention to, can you see the 3 arrows there? Hello? Can you see the 3 arrows there? The 3 arrows are pointing at what kind of cell? The stem cell, and the second one was proerythroblast, and third was what? Basophil erythroblast. At this stage, the plasma membrane of those cells will have the receptor for erythropoietin. Are you getting my language? So, the erythropoietin, which is coming from the fibroblasts in the kidney, will finally bind where? Here, and erythropoietin is the ligand. It will activate those, and then the activity of all these cells. So, if the cell is generating 100 cells, okay, per unit time, it will start generating 500 cells per unit. So, you have a huge number of cells, and thereby what is your system doing? Trying to generate more and more RBCs so as to increase your efficiency with reference to what? Transport of oxygen. Good. This is just for your, this to generate a certain degree of excitement. You know, the problem is, in the case of kidney failure, so we have a patient. What is the issue? The kidneys are not working. So, to deal with, so what is the, instantly you will think of what? You have to get rid of the excretory product. So, you put the patient on dialysis. Okay. So dialysis will take care of removal of the excreted product, will make sure that the blood urea level does not rise. Okay. But as a result of kidney failure, now imagine that patient is also has a problem with anemia. Let us presume, okay, it is very likely. Okay. And if the person is suffering from anemia and if the person has kidney failure, then most probably his kidney as a source of erythropoietin is not working. Are you getting the problem? And in that particular scenario, just giving him dialysis is not enough. You also need to give him what? Outside injection of erythropoietin. Okay. And now that is available as a biotechnology product. Okay. The huge amount of progress that has been just as by biotechnology product, you make insulin, you also make erythropoietin, and a patient who is on, I think you got the message. Okay, I think we'll move on now. You can read this.